Watching our loved ones age is one of life's toughest transitions, and a lot of people are part of the sandwich generation where you have to take care of young kids and aging parents. I've been through it, and I've also seen some of my friends overwhelmed trying to balance kids, career, and home while realizing they can't do it all alone. It's a lot to carry. If you don't know where to start, Care.com is here to help you breathe again. You can browse background checked in home caregivers or explore local senior living communities. At Care.com, you'll find specialized support for everything from meal prep to support for loved ones with dementia, backed by real reviews from families just like yours. And Care.com has safety in hiring tools so you can hire with confidence. Or you can even get a senior care advisor plan and talk to a master's level social worker to build a personalized care plan. I'm partnering with Care.com because it really is an easier way to find help. For a limited time, go to Care.com and use code AltocallMAFS for 20% off your initial Care.com subscription or a senior care advisor plan. That's AltocallMAFS, all one word. With Care.com, start your senior care journey with confidence. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call. I'm your host, Tane. Today's episode is another reality show, Ramble. Just had what I'm calling part one with Brian, where we talked about Summer House extensively. If you haven't listened to it and you watch or you don't watch, go check it out, where we just talk about our highlights and our thoughts on the season so far. Today, I'll be talking about a couple of reality shows that I watched this week. I will be talking about America's Culinary Cup, Top Chef, The Valley Persian Style, Southern Hospitality, House of Villains, and Ladies of London. That's actually more than I thought I would be talking about. But let's get into it. I do want to talk about Traders. Traders is done. We have a winner. Covered it all season long. It was great. Expected winner. I liked how it ended. But the antics that are happening after the show are annoying me. This whole Birking thing, I don't get it. Everybody else seems to get it. Everybody seems to think it's cute. I don't think it's cute. I don't know why he owes her a Birking. Yes, she helped his game, but I mean, is that what we're doing now? Listen, when we had something similar on the challenge where whenever people won, then they'll give like the runner up something and things like that. I didn't like that. I just feel like, what is the point of trying if the winner is going to give me something anyways? Like, it's a competitive reality show. You won fair and square, regardless of what happens. So this whole thing of him getting her Birkin back, listen, I'm very aware that it's a PR thing. I don't think he paid with his own money. Apparently, he got it from a reseller. Lisa Renner had something to do with it, and there was a whole presentation on Watch What Happens Live. Listen, do what you got to do in the business, but just the whole aesthetic of it all, I and then she wore a shirt. I think the day she got it, holding her Birkin, and she had a shirt that said "I'm dumb" with a question mark. Are we going steps back? Like, she has her own Birkins. Like, this is her third one, I believe. But it's just the whole thing of it. I'm just, why? What are we doing? Okay, I don't like it. Let me know what you think. Like, maybe it is cute, and I'm just not. I'm the party pooper over here. Okay, let's get into the shows. Oh, I didn't share my Oscar movies. I kind of didn't watch. I watched Frankenstein. Well, I tried to watch Frankenstein, and it was very dark and it just wasn't grabbing me, and I just decided that I was not going to finish watching it, so I didn't. So I don't know if that counts, but that was my attempt at the Oscar movie watch. And then I watched Blue Moon. Wasn't for me. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't for me. Ethan Hawke was pretty good. He deserves his nomination in there. There was a lot of dialogue. Oh my God. There is a lot of dialogue in that. So I knocked out one and a half, if you want to count. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to make it before the Oscars on the 15th, but I've watched all the Best Picture nominees except F1. I'm sure I'm missing another one. Oh, Station Agent. So those are the two I'm gonna try and get ahead of. But yep, that's my update for that. Okay, back to the shows. America's Culinary Cup. Padma is back. For those of you who don't know, Padma was the host of Top Chef starting season 2 all the way till the last 2 seasons, I want to say, when she left. She said she was gonna pursue other things. I didn't know she was gonna come back with a show that was very quite similar to what she just left. This show is now on CBS, and I think it's just hard for me to reconcile a cooking show that's on network TV, but it is on network TV. The price pot is $1 million. That is not bad at all. That is some good money that they have on there. The biggest name on there is Buddha. If anybody's a Top Chef watcher, Buddha won Top Chef and then he was back for All Stars and he won again. He's pretty damn good and she took Buddha with her. And now I want to see if he's ever going to show up on Top Chef again. Because the whole thing is like if she left to go do a show that's kind of similar. What's the deal? Are they still? Is it friendly competition? Is everybody okay, or is it not friendly competition? I don't know. I don't follow them on the social, so I don't know what the vibe is and how that's going. She had a show that was on Hulu, Taste of America, I want to say, which I really liked because it gave a bunch of history on cooking in America's history on cooking and just the different variations that we have all over the country. So that was really fun. Padma does have a very great palate. I mean, this is made for her. If you ever get the chance, you should read her memoir. I actually recommend it. I apologize, I forget the name at the moment, but I read it a couple of years ago. But it's pretty good. She's very open, very honest. She shares about, you know, her journey, her accident with the scar on there, her battle with endometriosis, how she got pregnant with her kid. And she also sprinkles in recipes in between chapters, and it was just pretty cool. So I do recommend her memoir. But she does have a very great palate. So even though she was the host, like she does cooking herself. So she's fit for this job. I can understand her being tired of doing the same thing, working at Top Chef for a long time and just wanting to do her own thing and maybe having more control. I don't know. This is all projection. I don't know. The judges here, I do not recognize. It's Michael Cimarusti and Wiley Dufresne. I know I butchered that. I'm sorry. But I don't know them. But she's the only woman judge on the show. I don't know yet. There are 2 episodes that premiered. I don't know yet if I like the format, only because we get rid of high caliber chefs that I would like to see what they would have done because of the way the format is. But on the flip side, what we gain out of that is like this is a very high gaming probability. Like you have to be, cunning and you have to, be a gamer, so to speak, in trader speak. For this is not just cooking and then they tell you who is or isn't. The way the rules are set up and the way the format is set up, you have to do what's best. Do you want to cut your competition or do you want to cook besides someone you think that is of the same caliber of yours and you want to cook with the best? So that we get. I it's missing something. We have a dish and it's great, but it's just not bursting with flavor. I did not mean to make the cooking metaphors, but yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just I don't know if I'm comparing it to Top Chef, but it's missing something. Maybe I'll warm up as the episodes go along. It doesn't seem like a lot of people, a lot of competitors in there. So it might be soon pretty quickly. I don't know. The show does remind me of Yes Chef, the cooking competition show with Martha Stewart and Jose Andres that nobody watched. It's on Peacock if you're interested. I liked it. But I think it does, if I had to compare it to a show, I think that would be the closest that it is in terms of the format and stuff. But yeah, not bad. Good for her. It's always never a bad thing to have Padma back on TV. Okay. Next show is Top Chef. Might as well do the cooking shows back to back. Now, officially, Top Chef is just coming back for its new season. I think season 23. I could be wrong. The new season this week, but they put out Peacock put the show out early because everyone is benefiting from the whole Traders aftermath. And Kristen was on there. A whole bunch of people fell in love with Kristen, so it's a good way to just put it out there. So it's been out there on Peacock for it's been out for a week early. And this time, I think last season they were in Canada, and this time they're in the Carolinas. And it looks like we have a good group of people. I don't know if it's just me, but when they say people are James Beard winners, it doesn't mean anything to me anymore because it feels like every other person is a James Beard winner. Like it doesn't seem as exclusive as it used to be. But I'm not in the industry. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how he feels. Like you say, oh, who's a James Beard winner? Almost like all the hands are going to be up. So it just feels like, okay, if everybody has it, is it really a big deal anymore? I don't know, but that's just how it feels to me. Um, Unlike Kristen, I am still not familiar with the names. Kristen says she's going to make it a point to know everyone's names. And I did like the first challenge. I like the way it was presented. You get to get an idea of who the people are and their um, characters and the background on their cooking. I did find it interesting that the only two black women that we have similar cooking backgrounds. And I just thought it might be different from each other. But yeah, so it was good. It was just one episode. And it's just a reminder that I'm so glad that they made a great choice with Kristen as the replacement for Padma because always great to have someone who has experienced it because you can't beat that, especially someone who was voted out. And thank God for Last Chance Kitchen. And also, she's very compassionate. There is an incident in the episode where someone is crashing out. And I think that experience of Kristen being in the kitchen and knowing how stressful it is, especially for the first episode, gave her the tools to be able to handle this with this person with such care. But she is generally just a compassionate person. So if you don't watch Top Chef, get to it. You don't have to catch up. That's the great thing about it. You can just watch from anywhere. So you might as well start from the beginning with the rest of us on that. Okay, the Valley Persian style. The show is done. The season is done. I really liked the season. I was not excited to have them back because I just thought they were really, really nasty. But I will admit that I did enjoy the show. I don't know why they didn't get a reunion. I understand original Valley didn't get a reunion, but they got one the next season. But Vanderpump Rules is getting a reunion. I don't understand. Valley Persian should get a reunion. So that didn't make any sense to me. Um, I want to point out that Sky is the villain of this show, and I think that is so insane. A show that has Gigi on there has another person who is the villain, and it's not wrong. I mean, as Gigi pointed out, she hates everything the Valley, but she's filming a show literally called The Valley. So lots of things that she needs to unpack. But I do want to talk about the part where she's talking about her dad being sick and she's not around. They're all the way back in Iran. And she talks to her sister and she gets very emotional about it, and it's just so relatable. Like when you live far from your family, like no one talks about the part where you are just like subconsciously just waiting for that dreaded call where you don't know what's going to be said at the other end of the line. And I just really felt for her. It's almost like you're living on edge. And I just feel like Tanine should have given her, like, at least that part. Put that aside and you know what's going on with her dad and just giving her some kind of compassion when it comes to it. Like, I know she has a bad attitude, but sometimes you got to know your friend. If you're choosing that she's your friend, like, just work with her in that and giving her grace in there. But it felt like Tanine wanted to be part of the cool kids. I still don't understand the turnaround. Like, how could they be so close? Like, they go on vacations, they go to places together, they talk with each other, and then all of a sudden, Tanine just decides that she's this terrible person and she's not, you know, understanding where she's coming from. Because honestly, I did think like, okay, yes, it's rude and Sky is rude. But when she said anyone who knows me knows like my dogs are like my children. So was it insulting? Yes. But why didn't you just go to her? Why would you go to Reza of all people to say like what she did was very disrespectful? But like I said, if you had just put that aside and at least just check on her, like, how is your dad doing? How are you coping? Um, with that, that would have been nice of her to do. But anyways, Gigi, speaking of, why the heck is Dennis paying your rent? Why are you keeping this man for financial reasons? I did see her on Watch What Happens Live saying like she moved, she got her house, and Dennis did not pay anything. He did help her. She said her credit is shit, and so I guess he was a co-signer. Is he still married? Or is he still engaged? I thought he got married, and apparently, again, I think I've mentioned this before that it was Mike from original Shaws of Sunset's ex-wife, which is just so messy in itself. But anyways, she says she's paying for herself. I don't know. I don't try to understand Gigi, but I'm glad MJ is free. Trauma was what was keeping them together because she was like, I know what the divorce did to me. I don't want to do that to Shams. And Tommy said the same thing. He just wants to be together, but that should not be enough reason to be there because it's so obvious that the original love that they had for each other or the way they were expressing their love for each other was not there anymore. It's just a lot of resentment and they weren't working it out. So hopefully they're both happy and things are going on well for them. Over the course of my life, there have been so many women that have had an impact on my life, whether it's my mom, my aunts, my best friend, or mentors in my career. And I'm sure if you think about it, it's the same for you. But that's no surprise because everyone knows that women are the backbone of the home and society in general. But the many roles that women hold comes with its own pressures and mental load that can be isolating, and that's where therapy comes in. Therapy can help create balance, set healthy boundaries, and support overall well-being for everyone. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the U.S. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com. People sometimes talk about GLP-1s as a way to cheat weight loss, but what they don't talk about is how they're a powerful healthcare tool that's now becoming more accessible than ever with the new FDA-approved GLP-1 pill now offered at Ro. Starting a GLP-1 journey with a Ro Body membership comes with great benefits, such as 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA-approved medications, free insurance check, side effect management, dosing support, and more. With all these benefits, this is what I would use if I ever considered a GLP-1 journey. In addition to the newly approved pill, Ro also offers a full suite of the most effective brand name FDA-approved GLP-1s, all at the lowest cost. Go to ro.co/alter to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. That's ro.co/altar to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety. That's ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medication. Southern Hospitality. What a fantastic intro. Just leading us to how we got here straight from the reunion, the last reunion. And I'm not sure Emmy should be on this show, but selfishly, Emmy is needed on this show because I've never seen anyone so unhinged, and I don't understand why she's still standing up for Will because Will himself bowed out. So I don't know why she didn't bow out too. She got the ring, she got what she needed, but I guess they have to pay for the wedding. Also, Will is so silly. Just stay on there so they can pay for your wedding. Film your wedding and then you can bounce. But such a coward, so he didn't. With Maddie, how long is Maddie going to fake this relationship with Joe? There is no way on earth these people are lasting. There is no way on earth that Maddie is like into him as much as he is into her. I just think like she doesn't like the choices she's made in the past and thinks like Joe's like the safe guy and he's a nice guy compared to the other guys. So she has to make this work. But I'm very surprised that it has lasted this long. I also don't understand why she is so mad. Okay, let me rephrase. I understand being mad that they lied. Apparently, they all got together and lied about this whole thing with Trevor. I don't know. Brad apologized, but Brad was so casual about it. Like, I already said sorry. Like, it is what it is, but literally lied. But Maddie is still so mad that she believes her friends over her partner, but it's not like Trevor was like this great guy and then he lied about this one thing. It's like overall they kind of did you a favor. I get being hurt, but if you were still mad, don't say you're cool and then be mad all over again, especially if you're buddy buddy with Emmy. That scene of Emmy trying to say, yeah, I wasn't part of it. Like they were like, I was there. I wasn't like, I'm like, Emmy, what are you saying? Like you were stuttering right now. What are you saying? But I don't know, forgiving Emmy and being mad at Brad and TJ, I don't understand. If you're going to be mad at all of them. And also, if you're mad because you want Trevor, I'm sure you can get Trevor back if you want him to. Like, it's not that hard. So, what are you really mad at? It's been how long now? So, speaking of, Michaels did the thing. He did the thing that I don't like. I don't care how mad you are. You have no business screaming at a lady on the side of the road. Well, in front of the restaurants. Like, just, you know, she she wasn't even Molly wasn't screaming at Lake. I don't know why Lake told Michaels that she was screaming at her, and then he just came out there and started screaming. Um, I think I believe Molly because Michaels was giving guilty, very very guilty. So I think I believe what she said, but I am glad that they squashed it. But I was not a fan of seeing him just yell at her. For no reason. Well, to him, he feels like he was defending his friend, but it is not that serious. So Lever is like, you need to take a chill pill, just take a breath. You don't need to be yelling this much. Apparently, there was an alley sighting, James' ex girlfriend from the original Vanderpump Rules. I missed it, but it's all over socials. And I'm like, oh, I guess she's going to join the show. I guess kind of like how Sally was on Southern Hospitality and now is a full time cast member, just agitating our spirits on Southern Charm. Also, Brad got a new girlfriend. Let's see how long this lasts because it never lasts with Brad. By the next season, there'll be a new person. So, just one episode in. So, if you're not watching, if you're thinking if you should watch, yes, this is one of the better shows on Bravo. You should absolutely watch it. House of Villains. Ah, I love this show so much. I love this show so much. Like it's so fun. It's so great. It knows exactly who it is and it doesn't take itself too seriously. And the fact that the quote unquote stars that they get to be on the show also know what they're supposed to do and know how serious or not serious to take this show and play into it is great. I used to get annoyed last season Candy Muse from Drag Race was on there and I was like, "Oh, this is so over the top. This is so obvious that you're auditioning for other shows." And I realized that this is the route that they are going to go where everyone should be over the top. It should be like a soap opera, especially if you are put up for banishment, then you're supposed to give like this over the top, like you're mad and going on for that. So I'm in on it. I'm late, but I'm in on it now. And it's just so fun to watch. This season we have Paul from Big Brother, Tyson from Survivor, Kate Chastain from Below Deck, Jackie Christie from Basketball Wives, Drita from Mob Wives, Plain Jane from Drag Race, Johnny Middlebrooks from Love Island, Ashley Mitchell, The Challenge, Tiffany New York, Flavor of Love. In fact, she needs no introduction. I don't even know why I'm saying her show. Kristen Quinn from Selling Sunset, Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules. What a great cast. What a great cast. You know, you put people together and you're like, how is this going to play out? And it's just playing out as it should. Like, shout out to Jackie for being cast because I keep saying people from these shows need to be cast. Like the Basketball Wives, the Love and Hip Hops, like put some respect on their names. Like they need to be on here. It's so nice to see Paul. I can't believe I said that. But haven't seen Paul since I wanna say season 19. He's been on Big Brother twice, came second twice, and he's doing what needs to be done in here. Also great to see Tyson. Tyson's one of my favorite Survivor players, and he was also good on the Challenge USA. Also, Drita is great. Honestly, everyone is great. Everyone is doing well. I mean, Christine is kind of a dud, but she's also playing her part, and everyone is just gelling together and making for it to be so entertaining. Like, look at Sandoval. Sandoval is having his finger on the pulse, and I'm so shocked. I think Sandoval feels like since he was on the trader, he got the gamer gene. So now he's a gamer and he knows what's going on. But I actually enjoy his friendship with Tyson. Like, it's so funny and it's so weird. I don't know how to react because I am enjoying Tom on here. Like, he's still the butt of the joke. So when everyone is at the table and saying like he looked like the sloth from the movie, it wasn't Zootopia. What movie was it? And everyone agrees, and you can see Tom almost looking like he wants to cry, but they were so right. That is so funny. The gag being that New York is on every single season so far. I hope they never stop. I hope they bring her back every single time because it is working for me. Um, Sandoval is booked and busy, man. Like, again, he has booked this. Johnny's the same way. It's probably why he wasn't back on the challenge because honestly, the challenge is just so long and they claim that they're losing more money. You might as well get on shows like Love Island Games and then House of Villains and booked and busy. You get paid and it's only for a few weeks and you don't get to suffer. You get to your own room and stuff like that. I'm sad that Monica Garcia from Salt Lake City didn't come back as the voice. I mean, they moved to Peacock. There should be more money in there. So, not sure why. My last point is like it is very hilarious how Jane could not stop talking about Tom's chin implants. I don't even know if he has implants, but she wouldn't stop talking about it and just sit talking about his implants. And now I'm just gonna roll with it and believe that he has implants. Um, the last show I'm going to talk about is Ladies of London. It's a reboot. I don't know if you watched the original. That's where we were first introduced to Caroline Stanbury, and that's where she peaked because honestly, she hasn't lived up to that since then. But Ladies of London, the reboot is back, and boy, is it back. We have two episodes that premiered. I think it's on Bravo. I was never sure because I watch everything on Peacock. So I'm like, which is a Peacock, which is a Bravo show? I'm not sure, but I do think it's a Bravo show. Um, the first two episodes were great. I mean, they were fantastic. Once again, the casting was great. And this is how you can get the housewives back on top of the shows on Bravo by casting people that are actually connected and that are actually friends. That was always the formula, and that's what always worked. So, not quite sure why we stopped that and started throwing darts on the wall, but it absolutely worked for this. I don't know if Real Housewives of London is going to make its way to the US, but if it ever does, I will say give that a watch too, because I think that that's the same thing that you can see with these two shows is that they cast people who actually know each other and who are actually friends. And I enjoyed The Real Housewives of London, but I think I enjoyed Ladies of London more. Like, this was just great. Every person has an interesting story. Like, well, the jury's still out on Lottie. I mean, she seems to be just focused on her bump not bumping the way that it should be, but she did have some under the table snarky comments, so maybe it's out there, but jury's still out on her. Other than that, I think everybody was interesting. And we have our first, do I call him a male? He's not a housewife, but a first male principal character among mostly women. I don't know what it's called. Mark Francis, and he's hilarious and snarky. And then we have Missy, who's the model from Sweden. So the premise of Ladies of London, they have people mixed bag where half the people are from the UK, half the people are from the US, and it's just how they're mingling together in society. But then we have Missy, who is from Sweden, and Missy's interesting because her first husband, Lindegard, he was a goalie for my EPL team, Manchester United. Go United! He was a backup goalie, but she as she told us, she has lived many lives, so she was bored with him because I guess he was a good guy, and then she got the fun guy, and then he cheated on her, and now she's just like, okay, I need to be by myself, and she's finding herself and trying to learn how to speak up. And that plays into the second episode where she spoke up, and that speaking up led to someone actually quitting on camera. I'm telling you, this show is great. We have Emma. I told y'all, I'm gonna stop saying I'm kidding, but it feels like every reality show has a Nigerian here, and she is half Nigerian. And the rest of the cast members kind of use this to kind of shit on Meghan Markle. My anecdotal survey is that the people over the pond do not care for Meghan Markle because they also threw shots at her at the Real Housewives of London. And I think someone was like, Meghan Markle likes to think like she is the first black person to marry into the royal family or aristocrat. I don't know what they said, but Emma is the first one. And I'm like, I mean, that was unnecessary. Did you really have to? But, anyways, there's that. Margot is so interesting. So Margot is American. She's an actress, but her entire career has been based in London, the UK, I guess. She's actually currently still filming a show there. And she got famous for a movie called Nine Songs. All this is in the premiere, but I was just googling it because I don't think I believed what my ears were hearing because everyone was like it was so explicit, there was so much sex in the movie. So I went to look it up when it premiered in Cannes, and yeah, they were not exaggerating and they were not wrong. It definitely was unsimulated sex. It was very explicit. They were like to the point where there was oral sex, there was penetrative sex, and there was finishing, for lack of a better word, shown on there. And I'm like, one of the ladies was like, Is it porn?" And I don't know. Does it not qualify as porn? But that was her career, I guess. So, but she's back, but she's also, a very interesting lady. The first garden party, she shows up out there and all her nipples are out there and she's very aware of it and doesn't seem to care. Again, this is what makes these people so interesting to be cast on a show. Martha gives me Grey Gardens vibe with her nervous laughter. And before she actually mentioned it, we see her home, and her home looks like a regular old flat, except it just looks really old. I'd already peeped like the paint already chipped off on the door and everything just looking raggedy. Then she actually gave us like a full tour, and the plaster, the wallpaper, everything's peeling. She has a bird that flies everywhere and poops everywhere. She made a joke about not having something because she has rats, and I hope she was just joking because please, I no. Every time I saw it, I'm like, how are the cameraman doing this? Because what if a rat just rushes out right now? How is she even having guests? I would not visit. I'm sorry. I'm terrified. Mice, rats, all of that family. I don't want to see it. But she's just kind of cuckoo. But she's been through a lot. But yeah, I hope she gets that done. She's getting painting done and she gave someone money and doesn't know why she gave them money. So there's more to learn about there because someone cannot be that naive at her big age. I think that's the other thing. I don't know how old any of these ladies are. I'll do more googling. By the next time I talk about it, I should know how old they are. They keep saying 40s, but they look older than 40s. Not all of them. I believe Margot is in her 40s, but I'm not sure about the rest. Kimmy, I love when Kimmy smiles. She has like an old Hollywood face. And I just love her because she's kind of crazy. What I am confused about are her kids. She talks about herself and her ex husband, saying that she was ready to have kids. And they just seem to be more than what she described about her kids. Like there was more to the story. She then says she accidentally had two. I'm like, are they twins? Because they're both 9 years old, but she doesn't really say twins. So I'm like, am I reading too much into it or is there more to the story? And then at some point, the husband wanted to have kids too, so he decided to raise them with her. But then she was like, I had them for 4 years and then he's coming back. But then they love him more than they love her. So everything about that feels like I'm waiting for more story to come out. So we'll see what happens. We have Micah, who is from America. She gives me Juliet vibes. Juliet was an American in the original Ladies of London, who eventually became friends with Caroline Stanbury, and then she was brought back late into the season for the Real Housewives of London, also recent for the recent season last year. So Micah gives me Juliet vibes in that Juliet and Micah are both very intense people. They seem so eager, like they just can't stop talking and they just want to be part of the crew so much that it's like just play it cool. And that was Caroline's problem with Juliet was just like play it cool. Stop being so jumpy and eager and I want to be there. And the thing about Micah is like Micah is so loyal to her fellow American Dara. And it's just, we're good friends. We've known each other for 24 years. And on the other side, Dara cannot stand this woman. Dara is also pretty cool. Her child's stepmom is Princess Beatrice. So she's an architect though. But the main storyline of the first two episodes is that people are saying that she was a madam. um and Micah thinks that she's being a good friend and telling her about it, and instead Dara is not having it, and Dara just kind of like spins the story. So I actually believe that Dara was a madam. I don't The way she's acting, I just actually believe it because she did not act like someone who wasn't, and she just seems like not present. She had a dinner and she's giving a speech and saying like, "Oh, we're all self-made people. We've put in the hard work," and the producers decide to go through each and every one of them and say what their parents did, and they were all like nepo babies, and it was just hilarious. Really, it was great. So the heat became too much, and Dara quit the show during filming and said it's not for me. But it's for the best. It's clear everyone did not like her, so probably for the best and better for the vibes. I don't know how Micah is gonna cope, but we'll see how it goes. But I hope they didn't peak with the first two episodes because I really liked it. So we'll see what happens. So, friends, those were some of the shows that I watched this week. As always, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if there are any shows that you'd like to hear my opinion on, or if you have any questions on any show. I would be more than happy to oblige. Feel free to interact, ask me a question anywhere on socials. I am AltoCall MAFS on Instagram, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, or you can send me an email or a DM. Until next time, guys. Bye.